Welcome to another edition of Rabbitohs Radio. My name is Grant Chappell. I'm joined by my loyal co-host friend Darren Brownie Brown. The final team list of the year, Brownie, 2025. It's coming to a close, mate. How are you, Brownie?
Yeah, not too bad. And g'day to all the viewers out there and the listeners. Very sad, chaps. The last round of the season, round 27. We won't be playing finals footy this year as the birds chirp in the background from your little set there, chaps. It's but look, disappointing. It's been a disappointing season when the Rabbitohs and the coaching staff will go back and look at it. But we all know the reason why. We've had a heap of injuries, not only this year, but for the last couple of seasons. And I'm sure the season will be, put down to a lot of injuries. That'll be why the disappointment, of 2025.
Well, look, the goal at the start of the season is to win the premiership, and then from there on in, you want to make the finals. And then it goes from there. And when you have 250 plus individual games missed for injury, mate, you don't put yourself in frame. So it was one of those seasons, long, drawn out. Looking forward to the final game of the season. You know, that age-old rival, South versus the evil Empire, the team we love to hate. It's been set up. If you said at the start of the year that you'd lose Cam Murray for the whole season, you'd have only Cody Walker for a handful of games, lose 250 odd plus games for injury, but you got a chance to beat the Roosters twice in one season, Brownie, twice in one season, plus knock them out of the semis. Mate, I'd put my hand up for that any day of the week, man, and that's probably what's going to happen this week. But we'll get to the Roosters stuff later. We'll get to the Cody Walker signing, the captain's back, Brownie. We'll get to that later. But look, we had a big weekend. Local footy, doing community stuff. So it's like a community volunteer job for us with our sponsor, South Juniors. And look, we put a lot of work in, and thanks to you, Brownie, you rang up a lot of the coaches, and I got in contact with a couple, but you did a lot of the heavy lifting there. And we'd like to thank Keith and the board and Renee, Lucky Curry for helping us out there. But it ended up a pretty smooth day. I think we went pretty well in the end.
Yeah, well, it certainly did, chaps. Well, basically, it all started on Friday, didn't it? We had a luncheon at the juniors for the Mark Hughes Foundation. A lot of our mates are walking Kokoda Trail in a couple of weeks' time with the Mark Hughes with Mark Hughes and a couple of the Newcastle boys, 25 in total, at a fundraising event. We raised over $43,000 on the day. There were some great guest speakers. There was a big crowd in attendance. And, the weekend all started there and continued on throughout to the Sunday where we covered them three magnificent games of the South Juniors Grand Finals, the under-21s, the A reserves and the A grade, in which La Perouse was successful on the day. But a wonderful afternoon. We had a really good response, and chaps, to you, great calling. Like you said, I did a little bit of homework, getting all the information on the players, and it always helps on the day. But you put it together perfectly. It was a magnificent call of the three games, and I'm sure everyone would have been pleased with the effort you done.
Yeah, a bit of history was made there Friday night. We had some South Juniors Grand Finals at Pioneer Park for the first time ever. The history of South Juniors, and I was lucky enough my daughter was in the Grand Final, and they had a win. They beat Concord Burwood in the under-14s league tag, so we certainly celebrated that one. Botany had a win. I think Coogee Wombats were beaten in the Open Women's, and then it just went right through. Congratulations to all the boys and girls who played, whether you won or lost. It didn't matter. It was being part of a Grand Final day. It's a big slug. As the New South Wales Rugby League and NRL sort of try to eliminate Grand Finals for kids, which is it's another subject for another day, Brownie. At least we still got a few Grand Finals. And look, we'll start with that game. It was South versus Roosters again, Brownie. Southeastern Seagulls undefeated versus Bondi United, who had Wes Patton Jr., if everyone's familiar with him, one of the great little South Sydney Rabbitohs halfbacks from the Redfern area. And they come up against a formidable opponent. You might remember Bailey Smith, one of your favourites, Brownie. I thought he had a great game. And a couple of front rowers, Ezekiel Talsili and also Jeremiah Nelly. They really paved the way in that one. Ryan Casey was a star as well, Brownie. That was a good game to start things off on it.
It certainly was, and like you just indicated, chaps, a lot of young up-and-coming NRL stars, on display for both, the Roosters team, the Bondi United, and the Rabbitohs Junior League, the Southeastern Seagulls. Like you said, chaps, Southeastern went through undefeated. They were too good on the day, but a quality and an exciting game from both teams, and a credit to both of them. And it really got the day off to a flyer.
To jumper number 10, Brownie. Had a little cameo at the end there. Leroy Stewart, we're all coach's favourite. We called out in the tip sheet. He turns up every training session. He's a great team member, and I think they kicked on and had a bit of a party Sunday, Monday. So we left him alone there. Well done, Big Les. He come on and done his job at the end there, Brownie.
Yeah, exactly. He wore the number 10 jumper, and he come on. He got a couple of minutes towards the end of the game. But yeah, every player to be congratulated. Like I said, it really got the day off for us in terms of the live stream to a good start because we had two more after that.
Yep, and on the Bondi side, I think Ejmau Delamere, he was a bit of a star, the centre, explosive guy. The next game, look, these teams go back a long way, but no one goes further back than the mascot Jets. And they had a memorial side for one of their young members from last year, Lecky, who was viciously attacked out there at Marrickville or something like that. And anyway, they got the job done. Minor premiers went back to back. Congratulations to the Cots. I think Corbin Downs was a real star on the day for that one, Brownie, and Tommy Perrin got him home as well.
Yeah, a lot of local juniors in that mascot team that have been with the club for a long, long time, ever since they were little toddlers. And you just mentioned two of them, Corbin Downs and Tommy Perrin were, standouts on the day. But credit to Rovers. They've been in a couple of grand finals over the last couple of years. They've won a couple. To Andy Tull and his team, commiserations. But yeah, another wonderful game, a very close encounter. And it was all leading into the team, the game that we're going to talk about next, the A-grade grand final.
Yeah, well done, dude. I thought Buddha last, mate. A bit of an unusual shaped halfback, but geez, he's skillful. And to the McGrath brothers, Cooper and Ryan, I think a couple of mascot best there. Big blockheads, some kids, mate. They went well.
And some wonderful tries scored in both of these lead-up games. None more so than the young winger, Joseph Toomer. You just mentioned that boy McGrath shifted the ball inside his own 50, got the ball to Toomer, who showed a clean pair of heels down the wing, stepped inside. If you haven't seen the try, go to our social media on YouTube and have a look at it. It's just super.
Yeah, it was super. Look, the A grade, it was a deserved victory to the minor premiers. Again, the Lapperoos Panthers. The Wombats had their chances, just weren't able to capitalise. Got over the line and just weren't able to get the ball down twice in that first half. Would have changed things definitely. Goal kicking was a problem for both sides. I think poor old Harley Atwater, who had a fantastic season at the halfback position, went 0 for 4. And man of the match, the Darrell Lee man of the match, Archie Donnelly had to come in and knock one over from 20 out to steer him home. But look, we'll talk about a few of the real rookies and South guys to look forward to. Jaden Rook, 17 years of age, Brownie. Big moments for him. He scored a try on the day, and he looks like a promising prospect, mate.
Yeah, another local junior from the Lapperoos community. His old man played with the club. His old man actually probably played in that last grand final that they won 20 years earlier. So, yeah, and a lot of boys were in a similar position. Remember that name, Jaden Rook is in the pathway system. Keep an eye on him because,
He play anywhere. Hooker, he plays 5'8", he plays centre. He's a real talent, yeah.
Yeah, he certainly is.
And well done to some of the veterans there. Alan Campbell, Jade Anderson, he's a fantastic player. And Damon Alitovio, former Rabbitoh from 2004, 39 years of age, won his first A-grade comp. He was obsessed with footy. And his old man Scruffy was out there. On the other side of things there...
Do you think he'll retire now, Damo?
Oh, I don't know, mate. He just loves it, Damon. He's got his hands full. He's got plenty of young kids there, so he may do so. On the other side of things, young Rabbitoh, Clayton McGoon, another 17-year-old brownie, well built, had his moments in the game. Tatia Sue, only 19 or 18 years of age, is a real Brian Toto lookalike. He opened them up a few times there, and I think he's someone worth pursuing. Maybe Brownie, that powerful young winger, and Ethan LeBlanc, Liam LeBlanc's brother, probably the pick of the bunch.
Yeah, they certainly were. Another quality and thrilling contest. I went all the way down to the wire. The Wombats, like you said, chaps, probably consider themselves a little bit unlucky, bombed a few tries, but yeah, Lapa just too good on the day. To be honest, Lapa weren't even in the competition last year, and they've done well to build up a team out that Lapa is community and put a team together, finish minor premiers, and now they've won the competition. So well done to Lapa. Congratulations. I went down there and had a beer, a couple of celebration beers down at Yarra Bay. They were on fire. The boys were happy. Everyone was happy, and yeah, it was good to see.
Big Darren down there, big Darren Taff and the Rat, a couple of the real legends, and Mudgee and the crew.
Yeah, they were all down there. Troy Stewart.
I
played
Troy
against
Stewart.
Troy. Yeah, I played against Troy Stewart in a grand final many years ago, and he kicked the winning grand final. No, the winning goal after the bell, so to win the grand final. So yeah, don't worry, he reminded me about it.
And Tyrone Munro's cousin there, Lindsay Munro, was good. Obviously, we spoke about Jakey Beetson. That's Arthur Beetson's grandson. Good on that. So, mate, I was impressed with one of the front rows there from Coogee Ramick Wombats. I didn't even recognise him on the days. My mum's neighbour. I've got to mention him. Costa Sanny Dust, mate, the big unit, jumping number 23. He was a bit disappointed. He dropped one or two balls close to the line, but I thought he was strong in his first proper big grand final there. He's coming up to the big boys, and he's only 19 or 20. He's a big unit, 116 kilos, Brownie. He said he's going to get back in the off season and get stronger and fitter and come back bigger and better. And I'm sure all the Wombats boys will.
Yeah, they certainly will. And look, I just want to give a shout out to all the fans that were out there. It was a big crowd. It was a beautiful sunny day, a great day for rugby league. And, they got to witness some real quality football from all the three teams that the three games that we live streamed. It was outstanding, chaps. And a big thank you to Keith McCraw and the juniors, Luke Curry and Renee, for allowing us to do that through their platform, the juniors Facebook. But we also live streamed it on our YouTube channel. If you haven't watched the game, go back and have a look at it. There's a couple of shorts on there. And, it was a real good day.
Yep, certainly was. On to the big boys, onto the might of the South Sydney Rabbitohs, Brownie, and Super Coach Wayne Bennett, who I actually seen in the area having a coffee today around here. Obviously, he lives around here. I haven't seen him too much, but he's dropped a side that is, I think, arguably the strongest side we've named all year, maybe the strongest side we've named in a couple of seasons, Brownie. And we've still got the likes of Latrell, Junior Jatola, Campbell Graham, but without naming everyone that's unavailable. Still a few unavailable, but look, if you go through it, Jai Gray at fullback, on the wings, Alex Johnson, Toto Munro, in the centres, Isaiah Tass, and Jackie Whiten comes back into the side and he's named as captain, mate. In the halves, Ashton Ward maintained his spot. The versatile Jamie Humphries in the halves. In the front row, Sean Kepi, Keon Colombatungi and hooker, Saliva Havili in the back row. Tallis Duncan jumps back into a spot that I think he's made his own before we had to push him out of the centres. Jai Arrow and Lockie Hubner, who's been a revelation this year. Lockie Hubner, one of the buys of the season for South. What about this bench, Brownie? Brandon Smith, Jacob Host, Cody Walker, and Cam Murray. What a bench that is, Brownie.
Oh, it's outstanding, isn't it, chaps? Probably, like you said, probably one of the strongest lineups that we've, named for quite some time. But that bench is just so strong, very experienced. We've seen what Cody does when he comes off the bench around the 20-minute mark. Brandon Smith is just a powerhouse. They can't handle him when he comes on. And then we've got Cameron Murray, who will be playing his first game of the season to come off the bench as well. So, that the impact that them guys are going to have when they come onto the field, just hopefully we can hold the Roosters early on for that first 20 minutes because our game will change when them three players take the field.
Yeah, they started a little slow, the Roosters, the past couple of weeks. Their second half against Melbourne was unbelievable. They're really slow out of the box against Parramatta and just had the dropsies. They completed at 57%. So look, they're all talking them up at the moment as they're going to kill South. They're $1.30 or something like that. But they've really only put together that one half of football that was impressive. They were down 10-0 against Melbourne. People forget that at half time, and they've just piled on the points in the second half. One of the great halves of football ever against the Melbourne side. 40. No one's ever beaten them by 40 in one half of football, or they've never conceded 40 points. So look, they're obviously going to come into that with that bit of momentum, but you only got to go back 2 weeks, Brownie, and we didn't let in atrocious conditions. St George didn't score a point against us. I know it's St George and they're not a top 8 side or whatever, but you've still got to give South credit for that defensive display that they put on, Brownie.
Yeah, if we can take that commitment in our defence in that particular game and the confidence into this game, well, then you'd like to think it's going to be a close encounter. And I just think we got a little bit more attackiness with the likes of Cody and Brandon Smith coming off the bench and Cameron Murray. Like I said, our game will change when these players take the field. So we just got to have that mindset of defence for the first 20 minutes. And then, the dynamics of our attack will certainly up the tempo when Cody and Cameron and Brandon take the field.
Yeah, well, you want to see them shifted after that 20-minute mark when Cody does get on there and they chuck a few lead runners. And we've seen what Cody's done to teams when he does come on the field. We'll get to his re-signing in a minute. But, yeah, look, it's exciting. If we can keep it up the middle, you got small forwards like Brandon Smith and Cam Murray. There's no other team in the NRL that's got one of those. We've got 2 of them. Small, dynamic forwards. And anyone that was at training the other day or the past couple of weeks, I've been going to training for a long time, Brownie, out there watching blokes train. I've never seen a fitter South Sydney player than Cameron Murray at the moment. Mate, I'd be getting the drug testers down. He looks unbelievable. He is just cut up out of granite, mate. He's never been in better shape, I reckon.
Well, he's a true professional, chaps. He just lives and breathes rugby league, and that's the reason why he wants to play. There's been a lot of talk from the fans. Why do we play and why do we do this? It's only one game, but he wants to play. He's a winner. He's a rugby league player. It's his job. He's ready to go. And it's like anyone in the workforce, and I've said it before, if you have time off work and you're ready to go back to work, you go back to work. And that's exactly what Cam Murray's doing. He wants to play. He's had enough of sitting on the sideline. Even though it's one game, he wants to help his team beat the Roosters on Friday night, arguably, one of the biggest games of the season for this particular club. So, really looking forward to watching Cam go.
Look, Cam Murray, I mean, it's tongue-in-cheek saying how about drug testers and that. Look, he is the last person in the game that would be doing something like that. But look, he's played the Roosters 15 times, Brownie. 7 wins, 8 losses. That might surprise you there. We've had a couple of lean years against the Chookies. They won the comp 18-19, if you remember. He debuted in 2017 in a game where we were beaten by Brisbane 25-24. It was a left-foot field goal by Anthony Milford, and I still to this day reckon that was a knock-on. He caught it low, bobbled it. I swear it hit the ground. He picked it up, kicked the left-foot field goal, and the referee just went, I've had enough of this, and that was the end of it. They walked off the field. Look, ever since then, he's been one of those players that you want to have in your team, and he's played 161 games, Brownie. And for me, one of the games that stands out, it was a season after he just debuted, 2018. We played a semi-final via the Dragons, and Adam Reynolds kicked 3 field goals from memory. He came up with a couple of big one-on-one strips in that game that just showed you what value he is to the team in a big game. Now, doesn't come any bigger than a regular season game where you can play the Roosters to possibly beat them twice in one season.
Yeah, exactly, chaps. And I said a couple of weeks ago on this particular show that there's a couple of players in our squad that when they play, we're a completely different team. Cody Walker's one of them. He's already proved that over the last 2 weeks coming off the bench. He came off the bench against the Dragons. He was on there for 19 seconds, and set up a try. He run straight on the field, straight into an attacking set, got the ball in his hands, shifted it, and we scored a try off it. And from then on, we got a roll on against the Dragons. He was good the week before when he came off the bench. And Cameron Murray's another one. We're a completely different team. Our shape's different. He mixes his game up. He's got quick play the balls. He can offload, and he plays that play out, that link play out the back. So good. So just expect us to play a little bit differently, and then two players are injected around the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and congratulations to Cody Walker re-signing for another season. Look, worst kept secret in rugby league. I think it happened 4 or 5 months ago, but I think they're just waiting for a bit of a couple of good games that he got to play before they'd announce it. And timing's everything in rugby league, Brownie. And this bloke's played 10 seasons, 222 games so far. Debuting at the same game as Latrell did, mate, back in the day there, buddy. So what he's gone on to do is pretty special, mate. He averages, if you take out this season where he only played 10 games, he averages 23.3 games a season. This year's 22 games a season, if you throw that in there. James Tedesco's only averaged 21, Browning. I think I consider him one of the most durable players I've seen in a long time. Well, he actually averages more games per season than Teddy, if you put that into perspective.
Well, he's just a competitor, isn't he, chaps? He just wants to play week in, week out, and he's just a footballer. He loves playing footy, and you can tell by the way he plays. He's arguably one of the best ball players that the game's ever seen, up there with the likes of Cliffy Lyons. Joey Johns has indicated that he's the best that he's ever seen. So, yeah, well done to Cody. He's got his life settled for the next 12 months in the red and green colours. So, they're really looking forward for him to have a really big off season. Had a couple of injuries this year, but hopefully he gets off on the right foot next year and plays more games.
He's just so mature these days, Brownie. He admits he wasn't ready for NRL at 20 or 19, and having kids young sort of got him to pull his head in a little bit. He just wasn't quite ready maturity-wise, and what he's been at, the career he's been able to graft out. And I think value for money. I think he's the greatest value for money player in NRL history. I don't think there's a doubt about that. He's never been on a contract bigger than $650, Brownie. Yet I regard him as the greatest ball player to ever play the game. I've never seen anything like it. At South Sydney, there's never been anyone like him. There's that season in 2021. Now, this will never be broken in rugby league. We're talking about this record that's never be broken with the Alex AJ. Well, we're right on the doorstep of it. Who's going to have 46 line break assists in a season again, Brownie? That's never going to happen.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
That 2000, he had 33 try assists, 46. If he doesn't throw that intercept and he double pumps and plays short and hits Gagai, you're talking about him guiding South home to a victory that day. We only lost on the bird of Adam Reynolds when he missed that goal from the sideline. Adam came in with a bad quad strain, if you remember. He didn't kick against Manly the week before. He scored. He would have been talking about one of the great grand final tries where he got on the outside of the edge back row, palmed off Nathan Cleary. Arguably, they're saying he's the best player of the era. Then he ran around Edwards and scored under the post. I don't think you have to read between the lines of me what I think of him. I think he's a fantastic player. And I love the way, I don't think there's a player in South's team that speaks better in front of the media than him. I don't know if you heard his interview yesterday. Everything's just so smooth and so controlled. And the way he talks about the South fans being the best fans in the game, and he just loves being a Rabbitoh, mate. Anyone questioning his 1-year deal, mate, you got no idea.
And chaps, look, not only has he done it, has he been dominant and instrumental for our particular club, he's done it at the highest level at State of Origin as well. So he was instrumental for them couple of seasons there where he played with the New South Wales Blues, and he dominated at that level. So yeah, he's a special player. And I'm glad that, he's signed another extension to be here with us next year.
Yep. No news on Tom Fletcher at the moment. He's someone where I think he becomes a real priority, Brown. I know they're trying to get, the big Dave Fafita. That probably would be a tricky deal, I think, that one, money-wise, and who gets what and what happens there and how long is the deal going to be. But Please, South Sydney Rabbitohs, I'm pleading. I'm sure better be some money left over there for Tommy Fletcher, mate. I think he's someone that needs to be signed up. I think he might have had a slight injury a few weeks back. He's been playing through injury, so they've left him out of the squad this week. And he's going to go into the off season pretty chuffed, knowing that he's going into the season. I bet he had a few doubts, and everyone does, whether he's a first grade footballer. Well, no one's got any doubts anymore, Brownie, after that performance against the Dragons. He can go into the off season sitting pretty there, rest up, relax, and hopefully his manager sorts out what has to be done.
Well, he certainly proved that he compete at the highest level in the NRL, chaps. I thought he got better week in, week out. Every time he took the field, he got better. From his starting game to the game against the Dragons, I thought he was outstanding, and he'll only improve again after another big off season. Like you said, chaps, I just hope they can get a deal done, and that's probably all they're waiting on from the outside looking in. We've got no inside information here with what's going on in terms of signings, but from my point of view, I'll be saying that they're waiting to see if they can sign David Fafita, see how much money's left over, and there might be a couple of clubs knocking on Tommy's door as well. So who knows? But yeah, hopefully we can get a deal done, because he's come through the pathway system. He loves the Rabbitohs. His family loves the Rabbitohs, and it'd be good to see him in the red and green again next year.
Yeah, well, you might have a bench with Dave Fafita, Brandon Smith on the same bench some stage next year if that comes to it, and you have Tom Fletcher as your versatile back row who can probably play centre, can play a bit of middle, so not too bad. I mean, that top 17 they've named, Brad, I think Jacob Host the only one not coming back. Ashton Ward, he'll get a deal done. Ashton Ward, I'm sure he's the other one that we've probably left out there.
Havili's not coming back.
Well, Havili, yeah, there's another spot there for you. So, yeah, like you and Aitken on the bench, Peter Mamazoulis, Aitken, they're coming back.
And they're talking about Dave Mawali, has got interest from other clubs as well. He's been, he's been given permission that he can negotiate with other clubs. So there's a lot of movement out there. There's just nothing in concrete at the moment.
It's a sort of a funny little thing at the moment. People are trying to line themselves up for this North Sydney Bears deal, not North Sydney, Perth Bears deal, and so people are trying to just grab that 1 year deal to line them up for that, and the clubs are doing the opposite. They're trying to get a 2 year deal to keep them away from Perth, and then you got the threat of PNG a few years down the track. So it's not an easy job to balance a roster at the moment. I'd hate to be in their shoes, and certainly not going to criticise anything they're doing. They've got a tough old job there. Yeah, I'm not sure if anything changes there, Brownie, whether they run that 17 out there. We'll wait and see. Sort of a bit surprised Peter Mamazoulis coming off a pretty good couple of games. Didn't make the side. I'm not sure what they do there, who they leave in, who they leave out. They might just run out as per program, Brownie. What about a couple of blokes who won't make it? Latrell, he's only played the 22 games in the last 2 seasons. He'll be disappointed. The club will be disappointed not being able to get him out there. And the other one's Campbell Graham, only 11 games in 2 seasons. There's 2 guys that you'd love to see them play 20 games each next year. Won't they add value to the roster?
Oh, 100%. And we said at the start of the show, our injury toll hasn't only been this year. I believe it's been the last 3 years. You go back and see how many injuries we've had over the course of the last 3 years has been horrendous. And, that's the reason why the results have been the way they have been. So, yeah, look, unfortunate. We really need them 2 players on the field. If we're going to go deep into a semi-final campaign next year, we need Latrell to be playing, 20 games plus. We need Campbell on the field, and hopefully the rest that they've got this year just gives their body a bit of a spell, and they're up and ready to go next year.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we want to see. And look, and back to the age-old rivalry, Brownie. We've touched on the Chookies there. That they're going to roll out a formidable, pretty strong squad. I don't think it comes any better than James Tedesco, who's nearly in the form of his career, even though he's at the back end. Mark Nwanganitawase, I think his form is just. I've almost booked him a ticket on that Kangaroo tour, and their forward pack led by, I think, the leader of that pack these days has been Na'afu White. I think he's been outstanding, Brownie. So they're not going to be no pushovers come Friday night.
Oh, no, they're playing with a lot of confidence now, and they always do, chaps. You go back and have a look at their games, and we hate to talk about the Roosters, but you've got to give credit where credit is due. They're a quality side. They compete on every play, they compete every minute, and they compete in every game. And you go back and have a look at the games that they've lost. There's probably only one or two that they've got a bit of a hiding on. But they're in most games, let me tell you, because they just keep competing and they're winners. And like you said, you mentioned a couple of them players. They're in superb form. Tedesco, Marky Mark on the wing. I've got him a ticket as well on the plane over to the UK for the Ashes tour. And then forwards that you mentioned, along with Egan Butcher, another South junior. I think they're in outstanding form. And it's going to be one tough encounter this week, but I think we can get the job done.
Paul Egan's had a lot of injuries, local boy, southeastern boy. So, look, I'd love to see him play in the red and green again. Not southeastern, but I mean the Rabbitohs one day. Not sure if that'll ever happen, Brownie, but you got to live in hope and cross your fingers for that. Look, I was going to talk about what's your favourite memory when it comes to mind, Brownie, when you talk about South and Roosters, whether it was when you played or juniors or whatever, or as a fan or post career. What's your favourite moment?
Oh, look, this rivalry has been going on forever, and even back when we played. And after I played, there's been so many great memories that I've been at the ground. That 2012 and Sin Bin Sunday. That was another famous game, and every time we take the field against the Roosters, there's passion involved and there's commitment, and no matter where we're sitting on the table, it's always a grand final atmosphere. It's going to be no different. To be honest, back when I was playing, chaps, we never used to lose much against the Roosters. We had the wood over them. So every time we took the field, once again, like the boys will on Friday night, they'll be up for the occasion, let me tell you. It doesn't matter where we're sitting on the table or where they're sitting on the table. It's going to be a big clash, but too many to remember. I'm sure you've got one that you'd like to elaborate on. But yeah, outstanding. I used to love playing against the Roosters, and I'm sure it's no different today for the boys.
Well, there's always a few that stand out. You know what I mean? 68 was pretty special. I think I watched it with you up the juniors, that one, Brownie. We did a show for the juniors, the sponsor there, but I don't think anything goes close to the round 19 2012 game where if you think about it, we come into that game, we hadn't really made a semi-final series besides 207, I think it was, or 208, where we had Jason Taylor, minor premiers in 88, but we had so much expectation on this team. The Roosters beat us in round one, where we were the better side on the night. The Anthony Minicello pulled our pounce down, and then we played them a bit later on in the season, and we're probably in control. I think we led 10-6. They scored a couple of tries later. I think there was a former South junior, Brad Tuckerangi. He sort of went down the sideline, held it like a tomato, and chucked it back in. There was a bit of a ricochet, and Mitchell Pearce scored, and you thought, oh shit, they're going to beat us here. There's only a few minutes left on the clock. And they led 22-12, and then we just grafted one out. I think it was Andrew Everingham carry down the right hand side. We shifted it. Dave Taylor put Merritt away. He scored a try, and then we quickly ran back and kicked the goal. And you thought, we can't win it from here. And Nasta had a couple of goes at the restart. The ball kept falling off the tee, and he was slowing the clock down as you do. And don't know why, but they kicked it to bloody Dave Taylor, and he just shoved McQueen down the sideline. And yeah, anyway, they went on the other end, and Isaac Luke chucked it over his head, and that was it, mate. Renault scored, and we kicked a goal. That being at the ground for that was insane. Never seen anything like it. They were stunned, the Roosters fan, absolutely in shock. You'll never see anything like that.
Well, there's just so many big moments. Well, We want to happen. So we expect it to be plenty of big moments, plenty of theatre, plenty of noise in the crowd. It'll be nearly a capacity crowd, I believe, and it's going to be one not to be missed.
Oh, for sure. No doubt about it, Brownie. I'm going to try and get myself out. I haven't got a ticket as of yet. I've got offered a members ticket today to go out at the members stadium. You heading out, Brownie?
I'll be there, mate. We've got an old boys day, old boys afternoon up at the juniors before the game. We'll all hop on the tram, head over to the game. But yeah, it is a Roosters home game, so they don't give too many tickets out. The Roosters. If it was a Rabbitohs home game, we'd probably get more of the old boys there. But a lot of the old boys might even just stay at the juniors and support the juniors and buy the beers there rather than give it to the Roosters crew.
Yeah, that's why I've found it hard to buy a ticket, Brownie. I mean, I don't want to, support the evil empire and support their cause. I mean, they've got enough coin by the looks of it, But anyway, look, it should be a great night. A mate of mine used to go to the footy with him and his dad Brian and my dad. His name's Kegsy. Went and met him for a beer last night. He's been living in Munich in Germany. I haven't seen him. I've only seen him once in 10 or 15 years. And mate, I didn't realise he's been listening to the podcast the whole time. He knew everything about everything, and he's been kept up to date through the podcast from Munich. He's out here with his missus and two kids, and he's going out there Friday night. So taking his son to his first ever game. He's only 10 years of age. He's German, so he's never German national, mate. He's never seen a game of NRL. So I hope they have a good time out there. And yeah, it's on for young and old, mate. We've also got Jared.
Well, the thing is, chaps.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. The thing about it is that we're playing in the best stadium, aren't we? It's purposely built for rugby league, and it's a great atmosphere. No matter if there's 5,000, 10,000, or 40,000 there, it's going to be a wonderful occasion, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of Rabbitohs fans there as well.
No, for sure, mate. Yep, we're looking forward to that one, Brownie. We might leave it there. Brendan couldn't make it on. He was in between school pickups. Me and Brendan tried to do an episode yesterday. His apologies. I had some technical difficulties. I don't know what happened with my phone. It just didn't seem to work. So apologies. It didn't team lift Tuesday. It was team lift Wednesday. But I thank you, Brownie, for coming on and knocking it out. The final one of the year. Look, it's been a long year. I'm looking forward to this game being over. Honestly, it's been a long, hard year. We've got the red and green ball next week too, Brownie.
Yep.
I've got the honour of giving out an award, so I might talk about that one a bit more about that award next week. I'm going to be up on stage if anyone's going to that. Yeah, it should be a good night down there at the Randwick Racecourse. A couple of the girls from South Juniors give me a ring today, give me a few more details about it. So definitely jump online. They've reduced the ticket price to about $270 now, I think, like that. But the Randwick Racecourse, the venue, it's just pretty prestigious. It's a beautiful spot. So chuck a suit on, chuck a bag of fruit on, Brownie, get the missus, throw a frock on or a hat or whatever, and away you go. You'll be up there, Brownie. I'm sure we'll catch up with you and the missus, and my missus is sitting out there.
I'll be there. I'll be there on the old boys table. The old boys have got a table there as well. So yeah, there'll be a few of us there. But yeah, I'm sure we'll mingle and we'll have a beer. But just in regards to being asked to present that award, chaps, outstanding. It comes on the back of all the work that you do and the credibility that you've got around the place. So well done, chaps, and it'll be a great honour for you to get up there.
Yep, that's it, mate. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to it, mate. I love a microphone, Brownie, but I might have to cut it down. I might have to put a cap on it. It might be just 1 minute, chaps. No more than that, mate. Just stop babbling on up there. But anyway, we'll see what happens, mate. I've actually got a big day. I've got I'm emceeing a bloody sportsman's lunch prior to that for the local North River board riders. We're doing a sportsman's lunch to raise money for the team. So my throat might be a bit hoarse like yourself, mate. Anyway, I'll let you go. I'll speak to you after, mate.
Just a big thanks to our sponsors, chaps, the juniors and Darryl Lee. Been outstanding all year, and look forward to working with them in the near future again.
Yep, congratulations on that player of the match there, Archie Donnelly from the other day. Jump on and have a look at that footage. Just gone gangbusters, mate. It's about 40 or 50,000 on all platforms. But That might be about it for another edition of Rabbitohs Radio Podcast. Up the mighty Rabbitohs.
Up the Rabbitohs.